Hello and welcome to the video. If you haven't heard, an accident occurred in August of 2021 where a brake fin sheared off the coaster's train and struck a woman standing in the queue. This resulted in the coaster being closed indefinitely. The future of the coaster has been uncertain until this past September, where it was announced by Cedar Fair that Thrill Dragster would be retired. The coaster would be reimagined. That has left this 420-foot tall elephant in the room ever since. Speculation has begun. So really, what does the future hold for Thrill Dragster? If you haven't really heard some of these great ideas, they're hilarious, and we're going to go into some of the dumb ideas I've heard recently first. So let's get those out of the way. Number one, as you could tell, was around Halloween time. It was a Spirit Halloween that was going to be replacing Thrill Dragster. As time has passed since Halloween, maybe next year will tell, or possibly a Dollar General. Next up, we have American Barbecue, because, what else does Cedar Point need besides another barbecue joint and more restaurants? There's only, 2 or 3 of them currently. Last but not least is a 420-foot tall log flume. This is my personal favorite idea, and I would love to see this. I actually had asked Tony about this when we were at the park, Tony Clark that is, and he said it was a possibility, so we'll see what happens there. Next up, some of the details of the park and some possibilities. So my timeline, or what I'm expecting on this, is that we will see something in 2024. I could see the delay until 2025 depending on still some supply chain issues and exactly how big of something they're building, how much of the existing track they're going to be using. So theming for this, I would like to see something jungle themed, a continuation of the Snake River Expedition theme, and I think it would be great because it would honor the past of Jungle Larry and Jungle Jane. If you don't know, this is Safari Island, the area kind of under Iron Dragon, and it would be really neat to see something that really honors that legacy, as well as continues the recent trend where they're kind of doing a better job of theming different areas of the park. So next up, we have the original layout of Thrill Dragster. As you can see, the black box is kind of the station, and the red is following the track. So quite a bit of area to work with here. Scenario 1, and I think a lot of other people online have outlined this, so it would be Lightning LSM by Zamperla. They're currently doing a redo of a coaster at Playland PNE in Vancouver. This is another Intamin coaster that had a LSM launch, and Zamperla is retracking it, or I believe just possibly redoing the LSM portion. So the math does check out on this, where the length of the coaster is long enough that they can, actually get over the top hat. And then we also know that Cedar Fair is working with Zamperla because that's currently who's building the Wild Mouse coaster. Other manufacturers have been speculated to possibly be doing this, but I don't believe they're going to be working with Intamin anytime soon, and I think Zamperla or Premier Rides is probably probably the top candidates for this. So scenario 2, this would be something kind of like Pantheon, where, as you can see, the red track and green track lines separate, and then the blue box is the new station zone. So this would be using kind of the existing layout, and then it would either shoot you backwards or forwards first, and you would have to use the same portion of LSM to really get yourself moving so that you can completely clear the top hat and then go full circuit on the ride. While I think this would be amazing and a great experience, not something that the park has currently, especially with Wicked Twister being taken out, I'm not sure how much I expect this because the throughput would be completely awful on this ride. You can only really run one train at a time, and especially with a track this size, I'm not sure exactly if that's something that they would be into doing. Possibly like Pantheon with like a switch track or something else, maybe they could run more than one train, but I don't know exactly how that would work, and I don't know who has experience besides Intamin working on something like that, and as mentioned on the last slide, they're probably not going to be working with Intamin anytime soon. So next up, scenario 3 would be pretty much only using the top hat of the coaster, possibly even taking the the track off and just using the supports, because you already have 420 feet of support, and possibly even, making them taller up to 500 feet. They have all of the area of Safari Island. Again, that's the area under Iron Dragon. And then with the removal or moving of Troika and Matterhorn, they do have some other space to work with where they could bridge a turnaround point and really make something huge. So it'll be interesting to see possibly if this is something that they look into doing. Scenario 4 is a completely new ride area. They completely scrap all of Top Thrill Dragster. The whole area gets a complete refresh. You get new theming, new everything. I don't completely expect this to be the case because I think it seemed like they did a great care in not knocking down the top hat already and not destroying the supports of the ride. So I don't think that they're going to completely redo the area. And then also, it's a lot of money to put into a whole new refresh, a whole new midway, when they are coming off a year that they just rethemed the whole boardwalk area. So we do want to get into an update here. Top Thrill Dragster has gone on promotional material now. Released just yesterday, November 22nd, is Big Savings Now, Big Thrills Later. As you can see in the center of the park, we have Gatekeeper in the entrance, and then behind it is Valraven. That is no longer Top Thrill Dragster. The one on the left is the old version, where Top Thrill Dragster is nice and centered. I think it's kind of amazing that Valraven has somehow moved itself, where it's behind the entrance instead of in front of Millennium Force, but we're not going to talk about that right now. Like, comment, subscribe. Let us know in the comments your ideas for Top Thrill Dragster. Let us know what you think about our ideas. We'd love to hear it. Thank you very much for watching. We do stuff sometimes, and we'll see you next time.